In this video, I want to explain the three major market movements that we have. You must have been hearing so many things about market trends. You must have heard people saying the market is uptrend, downtrend, or moving sideways. Now, these three market movements are majorly characterized by the structures they print. Before you hear market is bullish, you must have seen or you must have identified the pattern the market is printing. That is when the market, as we generally know, is making series of higher highs and higher lows. We are familiar with this pattern. That is when we can say that, oh, price is rising, it is bullish. And also when we see the market printing this pattern of lower lows, lower high, lower lows, lower high, lower lows. When we see this, we say that the market is bearish. Okay, now another market movement or structure that we can identify is the one that is moving non-directional, the one that is moving in sideways market condition. It is neither printing higher highs and higher lows or lower lows and lower high. It is just moving in a sideways condition. So these three structures here characterize price movement. Firstly, it is either the market is printing series of higher highs and higher lows, which we know as uptrend, or market is printing series of lower lows and lower highs, which we know as downtrend, or the market is non-directional, it is moving in sideways condition. That is, it is not printing higher high or higher low or lower low, lower high. Now, when we come to trading the market, we first of all identify the trend to help us understand the next thing to do in the market, to help us understand what we are going to do, our job in the market. Now, when we look at the chart that we have on my screen here, this is XAU USD, and if we observe the market movement so far here in the 15 minutes chart, all we can see is that the price has been printing more of what? Highs and higher lows. We can see higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and in that format. So seeing this market movement already showed me that yes, we are trending bullish. So as we are trending bullish, what I will be looking out for this market is simply a buy opportunity. Okay, all I can be looking for in this market is just a buy opportunity, considering the trend that the market is making. So whenever you come to the market, first thing you need to ask yourself is, where is this market heading to? Is it rising, or it is coming down, or is it moving sideways? So after you must have identified the direction that the market is moving, the next thing you need to ask yourself is, how am I going to position myself to take advantage of this market trend that is developing? Now that we've seen that the market is moving bullish, so let me now use this current market condition as a case study. Now, gold in 15 minutes time frame is moving bullish, and we've seen how it is printing series of higher highs and higher lows. You can see this is a high, this is a higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and this is the recent high, which is currently giving a discount. So now that I've identified the trend of the market, the next thing I need to ask myself is, where or which price am I going to execute this buy? Now, in recent time, we saw that here was the last low that the market printed before we saw this high. Okay, so here becomes our point of interest. Here becomes our point of interest. All right, so as we've identified our point of interest, what this simply means by identifying this area as a point of interest is that if we see price pull back around this level, we are going to execute a buy. All right, and In that aspect, we can then monitor or track the price movement for a time that discount will be offered. And right now, all we can see is that yes, price successfully offered that discount. Now, once price just pull back to our point of interest, we don't just quickly execute. We need to do what? Observe some couple of things. So I'm going to list out what I personally observe before I execute a position. First of all, if I am waiting for a pullback, then first thing is after the pullback, next thing I wait for is for a momentum to slow down. Okay, so I will list all the things I wait for. So after price makes a pullback, next thing is for momentum to slow down. Then after the momentum slows down, the next thing is a what? A rollover. After the rollover, then I will test a level, and after testing the level, I execute. So these are the things I wait for to occur in the market. All right, so now firstly we wait for pullback to occur. This is the pullback, and check the momentum speed. We see that the momentum is strongly bearish, so I wait for it to slow down, and this is when it slows down. So after slowing down, what again? I see that the market has already slowed down. So what again do I wait for? For price to roll over, which it has rolled over. Then after rolling over, the next thing I need to wait for is for price to test the level to see that it is actually holding, and it has tested it and it is holding. What's the next thing? Then price reverse. So from this point, I now execute my buy position, which is exactly what I did here. And my stop loss will be where? My stop loss will be right below the level where the market reversed. That is the recent low. So this is what the execution plan looks like after identifying the trend. So as the price is now ready to go bullish, that is when I will now execute, and my take profit will be slightly above the recent high. So this is what the market will look like. All right, so that is just how to identify a trend and how to approach the trend. Likewise, downtrend. Let me look for where the market was making a downtrend or a downward move. Okay, let me use here as a case study. We saw how this price started making a bearish move, printing series of lower lows and lower highs. So this is a lower low, this is lower high, this is lower low, this is lower high, and this is lower low. So the moment price starts making this movement here, we already know that yes, price is trending bearish and we want to take advantage of the market structure. So what do? We first of all identify the recent lower high, which in this case here is the recent lower high. Okay, so what we now need to wait for is for pullback to occur, for a momentum to slow down, for a level to be tested, and we kindly execute. So from here we can see that price started to make a pullback, which it was making with a strong momentum, and we needed to see the momentum slow down, which it lastly slowed down here. What I mean by slow down is no longer moving aggressive as it used to be. What's the next thing? For price to roll over, that is reversal, and this is the reversal we wait for. So after the reversal occurs, from here we now execute our sell and put our stop loss slightly above the lower high level, and we see how the market played out. So this is a scenario for a downtrend, when the market is moving in a downward direction. Now, another market structure which we also know is sideways. And in sideways market condition, we don't capitalize in that trend because it is always difficult to know the next directional move. Just like here, let me use this place as a case study. Now, looking at this market condition from here to this area here, this zone here, we can see that the market is moving sideways. We see how it goes down, comes up, go down again, comes up, go down, up, down, up, down. So in all of this market movement here, we don't really know the next directional move on the asset. So we can't buy and we cannot sell. So it is best to stay off from that market structure. So whenever we want to take any trading decision, we first of all ask ourselves, where is this market heading to? What is the opportunity the market is trying to present to me? Should I buy or sell? So after identifying the structure, that is when we answer the question on what next to do. And that is why it is always advisable we go for a trending market, just as in recent structure here, market is bullish as we have identified here. This is current live chart, so we have identified the trend. We asked for a pullback and we already got a pullback from here. Now after the pullback, we've tested a level which we know that here is truly holding for a sell. And what's the next thing we do? We kindly execute. Now the market is now running. So this is how I approach the market on daily basis, and that's how I make my profits off the market. In the next video, I will explain concept of pullback, how we know if a pullback is valid for a buy or valid for a sell. Thanks for watching.